Wicked, wicked, wicked.
You just feel really calm at the fully lengthened.
Wicked, wicked, wicked.
The longest road is probably consistency over time.
Wicked, wicked, wicked.
Just random comments I get are like, just like I'll post something and people obviously respond to it because it's like the topic's clickbaity, I guess. It's like, I don't know how to say, let me see if his real name's there. Yeah, Quentin Wharton. You said on my post, said, hey, Ronnie looked bigger and more shredded than Big Ramy. So hey, is it genetics or harder work or just a better routine? I wouldn't discount Ramy's genetics by any stretch of the imagination. But I mean, there's like, everyone's built differently, right? So it's like, in my opinion, Ronnie's the best of all time. And I'll argue that with anybody. Like, there's a lot of great bodybuilders, man. And obviously all the Mr. Olympias who have done it consecutive times go without question as saying they're the greatest. I don't think you need to mention all of them, right? But like, Ronnie is my favorite bodybuilder of all time. So like, if you had to ask me to pick between Big Ramy and Ronnie, I'm picking Ronnie just because that's what I prefer aesthetically as a bodybuilder, right? Not that Ramy's insane. He's the craziest physique, like structure-wise, his structure is crazy. I've very rarely seen a guy like built like that, right? With that width and that kind of waist taper. Whereas like you even saw like later in Ronnie's career, his midsection would blow out a lot, right? As he got later in his career. But I think genetics plays a part in bodybuilding as a whole. And I think that there's a lot of people that need to be really honest with themselves when it comes to fitness in general and their own bodies getting in shape, and like understand that like your genetics are going to play a part. So these people that are selling you this pipe dream that if you take this and that and you even if it's not even supplements, like supplement companies they have to make money, they're going to tell you to take products, right? And there are a lot of the supplements that they make, like HD makes great supplements for like your health, like your kidneys, your liver. All that stuff is very important for people who don't even work out, but it's even more important for people who do, right? But it's just like, you have to understand that like, just because you take the drugs, and we're getting away from supplements right now, like you take the drugs that Big Ramy takes. Oh, I heard Big Ramy, like I heard it too when I was coming up, like, oh, so-and-so takes 2,000 milligrams of this a week. Did you, oh, and he takes this much GH, he takes a vial of Serostim. Like all these different like wives' tales or like little like broken telephone shit, right? And when it comes down to it, it doesn't matter, guys. Like whatever that guy's doing or that girl's doing, if you're in physique or whatever it is, like it doesn't mean that that's what you need to do. And it doesn't mean that that's what's gonna work for you. And it might even, for them, they might even be able to get away with doing less or different things or not being so drastic and get the same results that they're getting, right? It's not like, yes, more is better in the sense of like growth hormone, and in some cases steroids, I'm assuming for different people who have different abilities to like withstand that drug or drugs. But like in general, it's like, you have to understand like your goal when you lift, for all the guys and girls who are watching who are just like straight competitors and like coming up, is like, you just want to get as good as you can get. To be concerned with looking like so-and-so or looking like this, like I want to look like Regan, good luck. Good luck. You want to look like Antoine, that's a lot of work, man. You want to look like Quentin, that's genetics through the roof. Those genetics are some of the rarest of all time in those three guys, right? So it's like, yes, it's important for you to have like a visual representation of what you aspire to, but don't think that like me doing these things that those people do or I've heard that those people do is going to elicit the same look and same response. Like there's a lot more that goes into it than just the drugs, right? It's the dedication, it's like the hard work, the years and years of lifting that have gone into it, right? So if you see Antoine walk by, Antoine's in his mid-30s, let's say, he's been lifting since he was like probably 16 years old. So it didn't just happen. He didn't just become Antoine that you know today. There was a whole progression, and he was one of the first guys to ever be on YouTube documenting his shit. You can see Antoine get to the size he is over a massive amount of time. Do you understand? So like, you guys who are in such a hurry, like people write me, and I'm sure they write tons of people out there like, oh, I'm gonna go for my pro card this year. Like, motherfucker, you've never done a show. What do you mean you're gonna go for a pro card? You're gonna go for a pro card? You've never done a show? Like, let's focus on doing the show or even making it to a show before we think about a pro card. It's just like, it's insane. It's a society we live in where like everything seems to be so accessible. And that's a good thing and a bad thing. It's a slippery slope in certain cases, right? Where it's like you have all this information. Like back in the day when I competed, guys my age, we didn't have this openly, people weren't openly discussing their cycles on YouTube. Like you could search that right now and I guess probably 100 and 200 videos come up of people talking about their cycles for shows. This shit was like taboo back in the day. You didn't talk about that. Like I was with supplement companies back in the day, I won't name who would refuse to let me speak about that. And I was in the background being like, yo, like let me have my own part of this website to talk about this stuff, because this is the stuff that like people want to know about. They don't want to know about how many sweet potatoes I eat and what multivitamin I take. Do you know what I mean? Like all that stuff's great, but like when it comes down to it, like this is the sport of bodybuilding, right? So you're gonna have to do what it takes to be a bodybuilder if you want to become a top bodybuilder. And sadly, for a lot of people, not everybody, there's genetic freaks out there and guys who have won pro cards without even being on anything, and God bless those guys. But it's like, more than likely, you're gonna have to do something that's gonna like enhance your physique and give you the ability to grow, right? So it's like, that's why I never, guys and girls write me questions, oh, give me this type of workout for back, mass workout, or what are you taking of this? What do you think of that? It's like, guys, it doesn't matter what I tell you, because what I did is not gonna work for you. And a lot of the stuff I did was stupid as hell. Like I was just reckless, man. I would just do amounts just to see what would happen. Like I didn't have the information you guys have nowadays. Back when I was coming up, we had one book called Anabolics by William Llewellyn, I think is his last name. If I pronounced that wrong, I'm sorry. And it was like literally every steroid was referenced, and there was a write-up on each steroid, and like it's like androgen score, anabolic score, like toxicity, whatever level, like it would gradually get more in depth as the volumes came out. That's literally all we had. And anabolic and forms, guys talking in forms. But you're literally looking at a screen with the guy's icon is like Captain America, and you don't know who the fuck he is.
It's Antoine.
Yeah, it's Antoine. Just telling you to like, oh, take this drug, take that drug, right? So that's why I want to create like more of a community when it comes to like the people that follow me. Is like, I want to like encourage people to be like the best they can be themselves. So like, yeah, say I'm a 160-pound kid and I have like scrawny arms and I want to get bigger arms and I want to get bigger legs. I want to have a better physique that I'm proud of when I look in the mirror, right? That's what your goal is. It's not like, you can look to these people for inspiration, but like don't think like, oh, I want to look like this guy. I got to go take like 1,000 milligrams of Winstrol and fucking crank all this juice and stuff like that. It's like, just promote this like community where people are like supporting each other and giving each other good information. And I'm helping you guys with what I think is like better training styles, like more effective stuff for people to do. So like when you are on that journey of coming up, let's stop wasting movement. Let's stop wasting our fucking effort on machines and different exercises you're doing that aren't working, right? Let's get to stuff that works for you, because the sooner you connect with muscle and the sooner that you move properly, the results are gonna come a lot smoother and a lot sooner, right? Because you're actually moving in a way that the body is able to like really tax that muscle and it builds up and grows again, right? And it grows and develops the way you want it to. It's because at the end of the day, the goal for every bodybuilder is to just look better. We're not functional athletes. We're not doing fucking muscle ups and like all this shit and running 5 miles. Like we're not Ironmen. So it's like our goal is just to look better, right? So if the path of movement that you find that I show you, or say you watch like a Seth Ferosi video or whoever it might be that you follow that you like and you find that it works for you, like stick on that path. Don't think you need to do every exercise under the sun. And don't think you need to do every drug under the sun to make your body become what you want it to be. Like hard work and eating well and taking care of yourself and training properly will lead you to a certain level where then you're gonna have to decide personally for yourself if it's worth you going above that, right? And that's for no one to decide but you. Don't listen to some jack off on fucking Instagram who's never done a show, just like shoots juice and like flexes in the mirror and posts content. Like this guy has no idea what he's doing. Like I'm not picking on anyone in particular. It's just like, oh, thank you. Got my apple juice. Yeah. But it's just like, stick to more like people who have like been down that path. Like I've been down the path of doing lots of steroids, and I almost died at a show because I was so dehydrated. I had to go to the hospital for like 3 days and get IVs in me. So like I've done everything wrong you can probably do, but I've also done a lot of stuff right? But all that wrong stuff is also reinforced like the good shit, right? I need to stay away from that, like guide people out of this way of thinking, because you can get reckless in this sport and chasing this fantasy of a body or fantasy of a physique that might not be realistic for you, right? And so just understand that like you work hard and you put the work and you do the work and you're consistent and you're dedicated and you do this over a long period of time, you will get the results you want, especially if you're training well, eating well, supplementing well, and like taking care of yourself in general, right? And then you can crank all the juice you want if that's not working.
Here's your juice.
Yeah. Apple juice. Tropicana.